The watches I am about to discuss show how the technology and styling of the Patek Philippe shaped models evolved over a period of 40 years. In the early 19-teens, pocket watches were the undisputed market leaders, while wristwatches struggled to overcome the skepticism of most customers. An element of distinction was needed to help promote the latest way of wearing a timepiece. As nearly all pocket watches were round, several manufacturers felt that square, oval, rectangular or polygonal cases would do the trick. Small movements of a suitable shape were not available at the time, so most companies released models such as this Patek Philippe dating back to around 1918. Its cushion-shaped case houses a round 25 mm caliber supplied by Lecoultre. The 8 adjustments are a guarantee of top quality and accuracy. Later on, elongated and narrow cases became fashionable thanks to the manufacturing techniques that allowed for increasingly small movements. This 20 mm Lecoultre movement was fitted in a few Patek Philippe rectangular timepieces of the 1920s, whose caseback followed the curve of the wrist. The 8 square markers printed on the dial of this model might have been added on demand by a customer who wished to enhance readability. When the Stern brothers took over Patek in 1932, they appointed Jean Pfister as the technical director in charge of designing and developing in-house movements. In 1934, the company introduced a state-of-the-art rectangular movement and named it Caliber 990. Its bimetallic balance wheel was initially fitted with a flat hairspring. One of the earliest references was this one, released in 1936. Its leaf-shaped hands, two-tone dial and curved lugs met the tastes of the period. Despite the growing success of rectangular watches, the popularity of square timepieces never declined. In 1939, Patek designed a round movement compact enough to fit inside such watches. The caliber 10-105 equipped a wide range of models, among which this classically styled example of the early 1940s. Its features include curly lugs and a dial with enameled scales, as well as button numerals and hands. In 1946, Patek replaced the caliber 10-105 with the caliber 10-200. It was a complete redesign, featuring a slightly larger diameter, differently shaped bridges, and a monometallic rather than bimetallic balance wheel. This example belongs to the second series of a reference introduced in 1939 and fitted with the new movement as soon as it became available. At the same time, new styles appeared in the catalogs of most high-end brands. This is an example of the bulky gold timepieces that prevailed in the after-war years. Introduced in 1946, it was equipped with the caliber 10-200, whose production run ended in 1953. The 1950s brought about significant changes in both styling and technology. Now 20-year-old, the caliber 990 enjoyed a major update when Patek equipped it with the newly patented Giromax balance wheel. The adoption of recessed turnable weights rather than the conventional adjustment screws meant that the balance wheel could be made larger and encounter less air resistance. The caliber 990 became one of the brand's longest-serving movements, having been discontinued only in 1967. This reference was introduced in 1954. It features a domed watch crystal that emphasizes the curve drawn by the lugs and reminds of the 1940s, while the elongated button numerals give a more modern look to the dial.